Welcome everyone to pattern making with KW Ross. Today I am going to demonstrate to you how to make a 2-dart skirt sloper. And the reason why I'm going to do a 2-dart skirt sloper because not everyone is going to have a waist where it is 10 or less inches than your hip. So we particularly suggest for a person who the difference between their waist measurement and their hip is more than 10 inches that they should use a 2-dart skirt sloper because it gives a better fit. You're able to curve the side seam much better, so that's the reason why we suggest that. So we need two measurements here. I'm going to use a waist of 27.5 inches for the waist and 39 for the hip. So with that 39, I'm still going to add my 1 inch ease for the hip. That's give you 40, and ½ inch towards the waist. That make it 28. Now I'm going to take that 40 and I'm going to divide it by 4. So first I'm going to mark off 10 and then mark off another 10 inches right here. Okay, I'm going to square a line down. So let me use this as a holder. Sometimes I use my weights as a holder. It's fine. I'm going to square a line down from that 10 inches all the way to my desired skirt length. So I'm going to square a line. I love this grid ruler, the ruler with the grid line, because you're able to use it as a square rule. Also, I need 20 inches, so I'm going to see 20 inches on right here. You can use now your L square. My 20 inches is right here. I'm using the inner part. Okay, right here, that's my 20 inches. All right, so this ruler is 18, and then your 2 inches, 20 inches. All right, and then you're gonna continue across. I'm going to square a line from, this is going to be for my center back. All right, center back, and make sure it's straight down. Okay, extend this line that you had started to square because it didn't come to the end. Okay, and right here is a little part that's missing. Okay, now I am going to come down 8 inches on for the hip line from the waist, 8 inches down. I'm going to square a line across 8 inches down. Okay, okay, and now what I'm going to do, just going to use this to hold on the paper here. I am going to do some math here. Okay, first and foremost, your front dart is going to be 3/4 of an inch wide, and your back dart is going to be 1 inch wide. So what we're going to do, you have the hip for 40 inches, watch me, and well, literally I'm dividing it by 2, so I'm going to get 20 inches. I'm taking the waist measurement, which we have for 28 divided by 2 is 14, so I'm subtracting that. I'm left with 6 inches. Then for my front dart, I'm going to have 3/4 of an inch for each, so that's times 2 is 1.5 inches. So I'm going to subtract 1.5 inches from the 6. I'm left with 4.5 inches. That's for the front. The back dart is going to be 1 inch wide, so times that by 2 is going to be 2 inches. Subtract 2 inches, I'm left with 2.5 inches. So half of 2.5 inches is 1.25 inches. So I'm going to mark 1.25 inches on either side of your side seam. Okay, 1.25 inches. Okay, 1.25 inches. So that's going to be your side seam measurement, and you can make this line long, you know, further up, because we still are going to raise your side seam 3/8 of an inch. You can do 1/4 of an inch, is up to you. 3/8 to 1/4, no more than that, raising your side seam and waist. Then what I'm going to do now, I have my I'm going to find my midpoint. So I have 8 5/8 here. So 8 3/4. So 8 3/4 divided by 2 is going to give me 4 3/8. So 4 3/8 is right here. That's my midpoint. Okay. And from my midpoint, I want the space between my 2 darts to be 1.5 inches. No more than that. It could be up to 2 inches. Inch to 2 inches is fine. So I'm going to go 3/4 of an inch on either side, okay, of my midpoint. 3/4 of an inch on my midpoint either side. And then I'm going to create my dart. So my front dart, as I told you, is going to be 3/4 of an inch wide. So I'm going to find half of that is 3/8, another 3/8 over. Okay, I'm going to make my front dart now. My front dart is going to be 4 inches for the one that's closer to the center front, and 3.5 for the one that's closer to the side seam. So normally the dart that is closer to the side seam is shorter than the dart that's closer to the center front. So I need 4 inches here. Okay, this is 4 inches, and you are going to connect the tip of the dart to the dart width that you have. All right, that's your first dart. Then the second dart now, and we're going to come again. So I have and this is my midpoint at my 3/4, my 3/4. From my 3/4, I need to come this side 3/8 of an inch. That's the center. Another 3/8. Now for the center, I need to mark down because this is a shorter one, which is 3.5 inches. I'm going to mark 3.5 inches down. Okay. And you're going to connect that to this part, from the tip of the dart to the dart width on your waistline. Okay, then so that's the front. Then you are going to curve here from your hip line to the waist that you raise up to there. This looks a little bit too curvy, so I'm gonna come down a little bit more. That happens, just do that. See, a smidget right here, so I'm not gonna use this one. And I'm gonna do the same for this side since I'm at it right now. I'm gonna form it out. Then what I'm gonna do next is put in my back darts. Okay, so first I need to say that this is the center front and this is the center back. I'm also going to mark this that it's going to be on the fold. Okay, so center front on fold, you need to have your arrows going there to indicate that it's on the fold. Okay, and then the back is just going to be on the straight grain line. So this is coming down just like that, arrow. Okay, now we need to find or form out the darts, or create the 2 darts for the back. So we have from find the midpoint. Again, we're going to measure this. We have 8 3/4. We're going to find the midpoint, which is 4 3/8. So 4 3/8 is right here, and 3/4 of an inch on either side is going to be for your width, your space between the 2 darts. Now the back dart is going to be 1 inch in width, so half of 1 inch is 1/2 inch, so 1/2 inch from that mark and 1/2 inch again, and this is the center mark. So the back dart is literally going to be, the one towards the side seam again is shorter than the one towards the back. The one towards the side seam is going to be 4.5 inches. So I'm going to form 4.5 inches down here, and I am going to connect that tip of the dart to the dart width, and I'm going to do the same thing here. All right, so I should have a 1 inch right there. Now on the other side, remember this was the midpoint, so I need another 3/4 of an inch, because, sorry, not 3/4 of an inch, 1 inch, because half of that is 1/2 inch, and another 1/2 inch. Now because it's the one that's the dart that is closer towards the center back, that is literally going to be 5 inches. So this one is going to be 5 inches. Okay, and create a line here, create a line this way. Okay, now I need to form out the dart. Okay, so I am going to cut here because I need to be able to turn my pattern around and maneuver it. Okay, so you can cut it all the way down, or you can leave it as that, but at least you have this space here. Now once again, fullness to the center front, so you are going to fold that part of the dart that is closer to the center front, and you fold it and tape. Fullness to center front again. This one is shorter, remember, one to the side seam is shorter than the one to the center front. Okay, this is what I mean by time you need to. Now I'm going to turn this around. Okay, and pick this up, turn it around. Remember, this is the center front, so I am going to use my curve rule here and curve this out. Remember, you need at least 1 inch of straightness, a straight line from the center front, and then you just curve. Okay, what you're going to do next, use your tracing wheel, trace here, trace here. All right, you open the darts, and you then trace out the tracing wheel marks that you see, and that is your new dart line. You're going to do the same thing for the back. Remember, fullness to the center back, so you are going to crease along the line to the center back, the one closer to the center back. Okay, and then do the same thing again. One closer to the center back, crease there, and you are going to form your dart and tape. Okay, right here and tape, turn it around. This is the reason why I suggest that you just cut it all the way down. Separate both of them from now. Okay, makes your life easier too. Or if you can handle it and wait until you're transferring on to the oak tag, that's fine. But undo that. Oh, I forgot to tell you, I would also put a notch 4 inches down. Or actually 6 inches down is good enough, not 4. 6 inches down. Make sure you line it up again. 6 inches down and notch. So both. Okay, that's your notch line. So we're forming out this center back, from the center back of the dart to the hip line that the side seam and waist that was raised. So you need at least 1.5 inches, as I said, 1 inch to 1.5 inches from the center back, from right here, because you need it to be curved. And you use your tracing wheel, and once you trace this out, then you can open your dart again, as I stated, as I did for the front part. Just remove your tape. You don't have to remove it all the way, as you notice, and you just follow your tracing wheel line right here. Okay, and this is your sloper so this is the back sloper, this is the front for your skirt. Once again, you get your oak tag paper. All right, I have already demonstrated how I place this onto the oak tag. You just simply have to get a piece of oak tag, staple down 4 points, 1, 2. You can do 5 points, 3, 4, 5. You do that. You do the same thing for the back. This is the back, and you just place it over it, staple it down, and then cut around. Now, you can use this side or the other side, it doesn't matter. But once you have that, then you're good. So that's it for your 2 dart sloper. Then you can just simply get muslin or any testing fabric that you want to use. Make sure when you're laying out your pattern or laying it out, you have your fold there, you place this on the fold, you leave room for the seam allowance, up to you if you want to do 1/2 inch or 1 inch for, fitting the sloper. And your center back, you can give it 3/4 to 1 inch seam allowance, and you trace around 1/2 inch on the waist, around the waistline, and you sew up your 2 darts. Sew up the 2 at the back of each of the panels, so that's a total of 4 on the front and 4 on the back. You join your center back, you leave space for your zipper, but you don't have to put a zipper in now. You can simply fit it on yourself, and then make any adjustments to the side if it's not curved properly. So that's it for your sloper, your 2 dart sloper, no seam allowance. Remember, the difference between sloper and a pattern is that there are no seam allowance on this. And you can go ahead, trace that out, and that's it for today. Please subscribe to my channel, like and share with your friends around the world so that they can gain knowledge on how to create patterns, and also in geometry too. Yes, I do that. I love geometry, so I'm doing fun things in geometry also. Thank you, and see you soon. Bye.